After the space junk container Rita was locked in crashes to Earth, she finally gets to observe the Earth for the first time. She is a bit disappointed and says that the Earth doesn't look anything special. Quickly she senses the power of the Morphin grid, and it is near that place that Lauren's morpher was lying on the ground. Rita takes advantage of the moment and begins to create a connection with the object and wants to know where the morpher comes from. At that very moment the Eltarians arrive with their leader Captain Cannell, and the person next to her is Bulk, the same one we have known all our lives, but here he is a quite different character. When the soldiers meet Rita, the captain quickly asks her to put her hands up and surrender, but obviously this is not what happens. We can see that Rita has a magical weapon, similar to her staff, but with a smaller size. At the same time, she is also using Lauren's morpher, and apparently this gives her more power, or maybe she takes all the power of this morpher. Rita confesses that she was in that container for 1,000 years, and for this reason she does not intend to give up. The soldiers can tell that she is a space witch, so now they have to be more aggressive to stop her, but that is not going to be easy. This is the first time Rita mentions her name, saying that she is Rita Repulsa, and then introduces her new monster. Many have said on social media that this monster is a homage to Golder from the 2017 movie, as they look very similar, but this one is apparently made of lava or fire. Elsewhere, Mark and June are still together hoping to save Lauren, but Mark almost can't and starts wearing a water mask. We should remember that Mark is half Aquitian, so he needs water to breathe and survive. In the conversation, June calls Mark a refugee, but Mark asks him not to call him that as it is offensive. June apologizes to Mark, but then tells him that they need to discuss more important things, and that is that Lauren is still hiding in Mark's apartment. Mark then confesses that he didn't know Lauren is a Power Ranger, and June wants to know why Mark helped her. Mark basically tells him that it was because the Eltarian detention centers are terrible, and then remembers that June is the captain's son, so obviously he hasn't seen those detention centers ever. Apparently this is not correct, as June confesses to him that he wants to help Lauren because if Mark thinks detention centers are terrible, what they do to Power Rangers is worse. On the other side, Rita continues to destroy everything, and the soldiers are not able to stop her because she is very powerful. The giant monster spits a lot of energy, and the captain has only been able to cover herself with her shield, but she has not been able to stop the monster. Since she has not been able to stop the monster, she decides to attack Rita directly, and with her weapon she manages to cut Rita's face a little. Despite this, Rita hits her hard and leaves her lying on the floor unconscious. Inside the apartment, Lauren and Orion are watching TV and see an ad for the VR troopers promoting some protein bars, which Lauren thinks is kind of humiliating. At that moment the guards knock on the door, and although Lauren wants to confront them, Orion won't let her as he has another plan. When Orion opens the door, the guards ask him to let them into the apartment, but he tells them he can't since his dog always runs away. Despite this, the guards don't care at all and push the door open, but at that point the dog quickly escapes. This was Orion's plan, as now he tells the guards that because of him the dog escaped and now they must go and look for him. On the other side, Rita has already defeated all the guards, including the captain, but apparently she has other plans with Bulk. Rita's monster is out of control, but she hasn't realized what is happening, and at that moment Bulk warns her that the monster is going to attack her. When Rita turns around, the monster says that she is trash, so he proceeds to attack her. She tries to dodge the attack and then kicks the monster hard, but this causes a huge explosion that throws her far away. The monster has been destroyed, and Bulk takes that moment to send a warning to the command center. The other soldiers tell him that they are going to send reinforcements and then ask about the captain, but Bulk tells them that she is unconscious somewhere. Although perhaps Bulk thought Rita had been defeated, she returns and grabs him by the throat. Although perhaps Bulk thought that Rita was going to take his life, she actually did the opposite and told him that because thanks to his warning she saved his life, then he will be able to live too. Rita thinks that her creatures now have minds of their own, so she is going to need a minion while she reestablishes her magic, and it must be someone who can't kill her. It is for this reason that she chooses Bulk as her new minion and asks him to follow her as she has many doubts about this world. June takes Mark to her apartment, which is gigantic and luxurious, so obviously Mark is very excited to see all that luxury. Something interesting is that June's jacket has the colored diamonds on it, something very similar to the diamonds on the Mighty Morphin costumes. At that moment someone knocks on the door, and surprisingly it's Lauren and Orion, who had been invited by June. Later, Lauren and Mark start a conversation, and she thanks Mark for helping her when he found her in the dumpster. Lauren apparently thought that Mark helped her because she is a Power Ranger, but Mark confesses that he didn't know that at the time. Just then Valentina, June's friend and roommate, arrives. She had a date with her boyfriend and cancelled that date because June told her he had an emergency. As she was walking in, she was asking June if he knew about the fugitive refugee alert, and when she looks up, she realizes that those same fugitives were in her apartment. Although June thought Valentina was going to be friendly about the situation, the reality was that she quickly wanted to call the guards, but Lauren quickly kicks her. This quickly turns into a fight, but the guys manage to stop them so they can talk more calmly. Mark asks June to tell Valentina the truth, and even though he didn't want to because he thought she would get mad, he confessed to her that Lauren is a Power Ranger. This made Valentina angrier, but June tells her that she knows what they do to Power Rangers when they find them. Rita is on the edge of a very tall building, and Bulk is standing next to her very nervous as he thinks she is going to throw him from there. Rita is telling him that the Eltarians have the planet under subjugation and took his identity from him. She also complains to him since Bulk is wearing the Eltarian guard's uniform and knows that he helped them subdue the planet. Bulk's only excuse for doing that is that he needed a job, and that job as a guard in the government has many benefits. Rita tells Bulk that humans are simple creatures and that there is happiness in that ignorance, which is why she envies them. All this time, Rita has been calling Bulk by his full name, but he tells her that she can call him Bulk, so she approves since it is a stupid name for a stupid creature. She then gives him a choice between remaining a subject or being a free person. On the roof of June's apartment, Valentina is deep in thought as she has to make a decision between keeping the secret or calling the guards. She is very angry with June for putting her in this position and has her cell phone in her hand as it is a very complicated decision. Mark is doubting whether they should trust Valentina, but June tells him not to insult her best friend by doubting her loyalty. However, June has been texting Valentina and she hasn't responded. Lauren is unsure if June's apartment is a safe place to stay, but June explains to her that Eltarians would never search this place. Lauren then explains that she can't stay here forever since she only came to Angel Grove to look for her family, but she can't help them if she can't transform. Valentina didn't call the guards, but she called her boyfriend who is a VR trooper and asked him to talk to June to change his mind. Valentina's boyfriend lied to her, and even though he said he was going to talk to June, in reality now his plan is to capture Lauren.